Hello. This is Tanda from Cosmic Spark, and I'm back with another video. This one is going to be a reading on what sort of trauma you're dealing with and how that could be informing your romantic interests and your romantic relationships. That's what Spirit wanted to talk about today, and so we're just going to get straight into it. I've already started with a card pool, so I can just start talking, and then if we need to expand on anything, we can do that. Okay. Alrighty, so collective, you have come through as the Two of Swords, non-graphic card this time, so I can show it. You're coming across as someone who is quite idealistic about love, in a Libran way. You are someone who romanticizes, likes the idea of love, possibly even more than the love itself, or a bit of both. You know, you enjoy being in love, but when you're not in love, all you do is think about it and think about how much you would want it and how much it would fill your cup. You are coming across as though you're currently in a really good place emotionally, and you are feeding your own cup. So while you might be having romantic ideas and thinking about that and ruminating and enjoying that aspect of yourself, maybe letting yourself indulge a little bit, you are in other ways really supporting yourself in like a really big way. You might just be older now, and so you're kind of realizing that maybe you do know yourself a little bit more than you thought. Maybe you thought that you didn't like maybe when you were younger, you weren't feeding your soul because you were doing things other people wanted, and you weren't focusing on what you would like to feed your own soul. And now you know that. And so you're feeding yourself. And I'm really seeing it in the sense of like beauty routines. I see that you might have updated your wardrobe and you're dressing in a way that you feel like really is an example of how you feel on the inside, and who you are on the inside. You're feeling like there's a marrying up of the two energies. Yeah, you've done a lot of work within, you've done a lot of introspection and staying away from people, and just to figure yourself out. And I feel like you're starting to acknowledge or starting to see the results of all of that work, which is really, really good to hear. However, because of when I was divining on what we should be discussing today, there is this thing that's coming up that tells me that while you're doing your best, it feels like you're really taking care of yourself in important ways, making sure that you're eating right and you're dressing the way that you want, and you're not filling your time with things that you don't want that please other people. You've done all of that work, but there is still some underlying trauma there and underlying childhood stuff that you might still need to work through. So maybe if you're watching this, pick out one of those inner child meditations and talk to your inner child. Or if you, close to this reading, get a memory come up of an aspect of your childhood, then allow yourself to sit down, maybe write it out, maybe talk it out into your voice recorder on your phone. Talk it out and try and really process it with new eyes. And I want you, especially with this like romantic Libran energy, when you're looking at the past, I want you to make connections with where you are at and your life decisions. So, for example, is it possible that you weren't given enough? You might have been left to your own devices as a child, maybe to a worrying extent. And so now, one of your biggest values in relationships, romantic or platonic, is physical time. Or is that what it's called? Like spending time with the person that you love. And so you'll realize that, oh my God, it's because I felt like this was missing when I was younger. I felt like the adults around me weren't spending enough time with me. I was always left to my own devices, and that's how it's manifested. So you need to be able to make those connections to be able to get somewhere with it and to heal from it. So that's the energy that I'm getting there. there is this energy that you need to pour into mindfulness activities if you haven't been already. For some, this could be coming up because you already are. You might be staying away from social media or limiting your social media usage. You could be on a vacation when you're watching this. Um, if not, you're being asked to do things that are a bit slow and a bit mindful. So you could meditate. That's an easy one that you can do. Alternatively, you could maybe do some baking. You could go for a walk. Anything that's slow, anything that brings you into the present moment, anything that helps you feel like you're in your body and not up here, those are the kinds of activities that you're being encouraged to do. If this Two of Swords is coming up because you're having limerent thoughts, I completely understand. Guilty as charged. And if you are, then utilizing mindfulness activities and hobbies is a really, really good way to get your mind off of this loop and this train where you're only thinking about a particular person. Because sometimes, thank you, Spirit, we're thinking of a particular person as an excuse not to engage in our own lives and as an excuse to it, and it's probably not even conscious, you know what I mean? But as a result, you end up not focusing on yourself and on your goals. And without maybe saying it to yourself, what you're doing is you're putting so much on this person energetically and on them being able to give you things or bring you happiness because you're fully focused on them mentally. So if you are doing anything like that and you recognize when I say that to you that it's unhealthy, then you know what to do. Um, okay. I did ask what your trauma would be regarding, and I think some of you might be processing trauma with regards to someone who was a love bomber, someone who, maybe was possessive and jealous that you dated and that you were with. I'm getting the energy that it's someone that you're no longer with. Um, But there might be some things to unpack there because I'm getting the energy of someone who was in a relationship for like a fair while. If it wasn't like years and years and years, it certainly felt like it. And their bond was sort of hard, fast, and deep. And the sexual attraction was on 10. You know, you met this person and you're like, oh my God, I don't even want to keep it in my pants. This is the kind of attraction that it's like once in a lifetime, right? Um, and this could be a relationship that didn't end amicably, or you weren't the one to initiate the end of it. And so there's this sense that you're sitting back, looking over everything that you guys did, everything that you guys built. You're thinking about how they came in really hard and fast with all these promises, saying the right things. Hello, Lucy. She's on my little table watching me film. And you're thinking, there's a sense that you're maybe in awe or surprised at how the relationship has ended based on how you felt when the relationship began. You didn't foresee it coming this way. And a part of you could be really disappointed because you had told yourself that this was going to be the beginnings of stability for you. You might have really struggled to feel that growing up or when you were younger. And so meeting this person, it felt like the right recipe because they came in expressing how much expressing how much they love you and they're attracted to you. You believed them, you enjoyed that. And then now, and then like once you were together, you were planning your future, you could see it clear as day in your mind. And now it's been ripped away from you. And so now you're like, wow, okay, does this mean that I can't achieve the stability that I want? What does this mean for me? If you're watching this, I want you to know that you achieved so much before you met this person. You've achieved so much by yourself. You don't need someone else to achieve the stability that you want. I know, especially with the way that the economy is, sometimes we also dream of partnership for stability and more than just like the romantic ideals because 2 paychecks is better than 1. Yes, my love. You want to go in there? Yeah, 2 paychecks is better than 1, but at the end of the day, if that person doesn't really truly love you, if that person doesn't truly love you, they don't have your best intentions at heart, they want to siphon you, because sometimes while you're looking at a person or looking at partnership as something that will give to you, sometimes what it does is drain you. And I think you were lucky enough, based on the energy that I'm getting from this reading, you were lucky enough that while this person showed all these red flags eventually, that you could eventually read, you might not have read them immediately. You were lucky that they didn't take more and they didn't take everything from you. You still have all of these pentacles that are yours and that were yours when you entered the relationship. The problem is your ability to view this in a positive light. So allow me to be the one to give you a different perspective, okay? You could have had a lot more with this person, but they could have taken a lot more from you by the time that they left. What you need to be focused on from now on is looking into the future. Whoever's watching this, if you're resonating with this message, I see travel for you. I see travel to different lands. I see travel even in the sense of like different perspectives mentally. You are a person of a lot of integrity and honor. You have a really good value system. You know, that's how and why you built this to begin with. You need to tell yourself that you don't need saving. This is something that I have had to, and probably will still need to tell myself. You don't need saving. You need someone that can add to what you already have. Someone that can contribute only the right ingredients to turn this meal from like a 4-star to a 5-star. What we're not going to be doing is relying on the potential of other people, especially in advance when they haven't shown any of that. As long as you know. Yes, so you're someone of high integrity and honor. You are someone that has so many dreams. Keep going for those dreams. And if you feel like you've now disconnected from those dreams that you had when you were with this person, or even before you were with this person, I need you to write them all down. I need you to meditate on it, because there's no way that you could have gotten over it that quickly. If your soul ever wanted it, just go back and revisit it. Allow yourself to look at it with new eyes. Allow yourself to But allow yourself to change too. I mean, if you want to try for new dreams because of all this disappointment, you certainly can. The world is your oyster, and everything that you try builds on your maturity, on your life experience, and on your ability to know and understand more of what you want and be able to carve out the life that you want. Allow yourself to move in silence. Don't let everyone know what you're doing and where you're going, especially because you've come from a very vulnerable time with this ex relationship, and there is this vulnerability with all this trauma that is still yet to be unpacked. It's not giving you're having to start unpacking trauma from scratch. It's giving you've already done a lot of the work, and now you're in a safer place to unravel some of those really much deeper layers, to come to a place of understanding. And just know that you're coming across as a very attractive person right now. You are a very attractive option. And if you remain focused on you and doing right by you, then the idea that you had about this other person, the potential that you saw in this other person, that is going to be wiped away. And you're going to allow someone who maybe just exhibits those qualities without you having to envision or imagine that it could one day take form. Remember that you are enough because you exist. Remember that if someone found you attractive enough to approach you once, there will be enough people to approach you again. There's what, 7, 8 billion people in the world? You know, we are not spoiled for options. It's just about the quality of those options. And if you end up allowing yourself to sink into the thought of what might be, you're closing your eyes and you're closing the door to some beautiful magic that can come its way. And I think to round up this reading, this is the card that I pulled out as to what we're going to be reading about today. And so I kind of want to pull it back to the Six of Pentacles. I think if you do right by you, you understand the difference between limerence and genuine attraction for people. You try and dissect and understand what it is about your ex that were red flags that you missed, so you can try and bring that to the forefront of your mind in the case that you meet someone that has similar traits. If you do right by you and you don't see the lack of love in your life at the present moment as a loss, but as a gain of self and as a redirection and as getting back on the right path, then you will find yourself in partnership with someone who will give what you give. You will find yourself in situations, sitting at tables, being invited to meetings, and being surrounded by community that equally give and equally take with you. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. Can't wait to see you again. If you'd like to get a reading from me, it's cosmicspark.blog. I am Cosmic Spark 24 on all platforms, and I'll see you in the next one.